Hey everyone, Ridden here, and thank you for coming. And today we're going to be taking a deeper look at Marvel Studios' latest injection into the world of the MCU in their first romp into the world of spy thrillers. Here are my thoughts on Black Widow. Welcome back everyone. This week I had the chance to finally return to the movie theaters for the first time in over a year and a half to see a Marvel film in my quest to see Black Widow. Having originally made her debut in the MCU back in Iron Man 2, Natasha Romanoff has been on our screens portrayed by Scarlett Johansson for over a decade now, and has become a favorite among one of the world's largest and most thriving fan bases. Touted as one of the world's most talented assassins, she was a core founding member of the original Avengers team up in 2012. Through her arc thus far, we have watched her grow, open up, and eventually come full circle from the eyes on the ball task-minded spy we first met to a family-oriented, caring superhero role model who, as Yelena Belova puts it in the film, graces the cover of magazines. Getting right to it, I really enjoyed this film. Granted, it's been some time since we had the Marvel experience in a theater surrounded by our peers, so that could also be a part of my overall reaction. But the film itself delivered, in my opinion, on what was promised. At this point, we all know Black Widow as we know her is now gone, having sacrificed herself on Vormir in the acquisition of the Soul Stone in the presence of Red Skull and Hawkeye. The film itself presents as, and holds true to being, a prequel to those events, as it takes place canonically between the ending of Civil War when the Avengers break up and the scene at the end of Civil War where we see Steve arrive to break Team Cap out of the raft. As a whole, I really like what the film set out and intended to do in a vacuum, as we know Black Widow had a prior life in the Red Room that we've seen glimpses of up until now, such as when Wanda warped her mind in Age of Ultron. Introducing new faces into the MCU, such as her family, comprised of Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, and Melina Vostokov, played by Rachel Weisz, is a great place to start in establishing a further presence of uniquely comic-driven characters, and all shown in their roles, in my opinion. I was very interested in seeing what dynamic adding her family into this mix would do for the film, and I really enjoyed the parts where we got to see a bit of bonding and nostalgia blended with comedy and death-defying action. As an interesting aside, I want to call out a few things I noticed in the film that were very cool to me that they were even included and weaved in. First off, the big guy that walks up to David Harbour in the prison scene that has his hand broken is actually credited as Ursa Major.
Shield, you know, that he carries with him like a precious baby blanket.
What year was this?
Who in the comics is one of the first known mutants born in the Soviet Union, with the ability to transform into a bear. Also, this film isn't the first time we've heard of Dreykov and his daughter, as this is what Loki used prior in the Avengers film to try to get into Natasha's head.
Can you wipe out that much red? Dreykov's daughter?
And that cool vest that Natasha and Yelena have the touching conversation about in the car that we later see Nat in at the end of the film. If you're thinking you've seen it before, it's because you have, as it was part of Black Widow's outfit in Infinity War and Endgame. The plot of the film hinged primarily on the existence of the Red Room and Natasha and Yelena's prior experiences in it, and them wanting to bring it to an end so that other women wouldn't have to experience the same. Although Natasha had believed prior she killed Dreykov, who is the architect behind it all, via placing a bomb in his daughter's backpack and blowing it up once she entered the building she believed he was in, she finds out during the course of the film that was simply not the case. This leads to years of longing and regret for Natasha, which ultimately were for naught, as we learn at the end of the film that Taskmaster is in fact Dreykov's daughter Antonia, whom he kept alive technologically. Although many parts of the film did work for me, Taskmaster, I must say, was a bit of a letdown. In the comics, Taskmaster is a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent turned mercenary and assassin by the name of Anthony Edwards. He possesses the insane ability to completely replicate the physical prowess and skills of anyone he observes, but not via any sort of mystical or magical powers, but more so his photographic reflexes. Throughout the years, he's had many battles with the who's who of Marvel's superhero roster. Seeing a depiction of Taskmaster in the film just felt very underwhelming, however, as there just wasn't much time given to the development of all of her abilities. The fight with Red Guardian offered some good shots, as we got to see moves from Black Panther, Spiderman, Captain America, and the like, but there wasn't really much else to it. The gender swapping of the role honestly worked well, and the add-in of it being Antonia, Dreykov's supposed dead daughter, was even a bit of a given, but the overall presentation just fell flat to me and didn't really leave much desire to see her used in further MCU projects. I'm sure we'll get to see Marvel take another shot at the Taskmaster character, as we've slowly but surely been seeing the amassing of several characters of the like. Which leads us to our post-credits scene, where we saw the return of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, pulling up to Natasha's gravesite as Yelena is there mourning. It would seem Yelena has now been working for Valentina and will be on the hunt for Clint, as Valentina tells her he's the one responsible for Nat's death. So we could see Yelena return in the Hawkeye series, which has been shot and will be releasing on Disney Plus in the near future. Wrapping up our thoughts on the film, this was a more than adequate send-off for Natasha Romanoff and Scarlett Johansson. The ending of the film sees her acquiring the soon-to-be Rogue Avengers Quinjet that we later see used by her in Team Cap, and she dons the short blonde haircut and vest from her sister. Nothing really felt forced for me in this experience, and for a film universe in the MCU that is constantly badgered for finding ways to bring dead characters back, it was nice to see a bow placed on Natasha's story with none of the magical additives. It is believed and has been heavily implied that Yelena Belova will now take her place as Black Widow in the MCU, and I too must say that I do believe this is where we're heading. Having seen Natasha's family rescued by the rest of the now freed widows from the Red Room at the end of the film, there is an entire world of widows that need to be freed via the Red Compound that distinguishes their mind control, which gives Yelena and crew more than enough to do.
You came back for us.
Me, to be honest,
And with the talk of the Thunderbolts growing by the month, and with the team already being assembled by Valentina, we can possibly expect at some point to see US Agent, Taskmaster, Ghost, Zemo, Abomination, and Yelena all on screen together. Or at least we can hope. I will of course be continuing to cover all live action Marvel and Star Wars Disney Plus content and films from all walks of life that I have the pleasure of watching. And if you feel so inclined, I would love to have you back here week in and week out to continue to cover it all with us. Again, guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell for notifications if you've enjoyed our content here tonight. Jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And while you're at it, be sure to check out some of the other content here on the channel. All of the necessary links are listed here below for you to keep up with the coming content and shareables. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms. Or just the one you use most frequently. We are slowly but surely building a community here, and I would personally love for you to be a part of that. And last but not least, we have a merch store. So whether you see something you like or just simply want to support the channel, head on over to our shop and grab something, or grab everything. But again, thank you so much, guys and gals, for visiting here with us today. I really appreciate each and every viewing minute of your time you've given us. There's loads of content we'll be sending your way, so I'll be seeing you. But for now, be blessed. And it was written.
Across the nighttime, the city sleep inside. Yeah, hear her voice shake my window, sweet seduce inside. Yeah, in me out the nighttime. Four walls won't hold me tonight.